Okay, we're live.
Hi everybody. We're doing today, my name is Dr. Brenda Salen, by the way, and Ashley is with me. Ashley Seymour, she works here, and she is a wonderful addition to this office, and we're really grateful to have her here. So I want you to know, if you have comments or questions rather, put it in the comments section, and we're going to be monitoring it, and even if you're not watching it live, you can go ahead and comment in there and we'll get back to you on it if we can. Okay, so we're talking today about how to reduce your risk of breast cancer. It's not how to heal it, it's just about how to reduce your risk through lifestyle and dietary changes and more on a holistic venue. So it's not going to be a medical discussion. All right, so, but I am going to start with some statistics. In 2010, there was approximately, that's weird, 210,000 cases of invasive breast cancer among women in the United States. In 2018, it's an estimated 266,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer expected to be diagnosed for women within the United States again. And most breast cancers are diagnosed in women over 50. 1 in 8 US women will develop breast cancer over the course of her lifetime. That's a lot. That's a huge, huge amount. And another thing I found interesting too is about 2,550 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in men in 2018. It's not just about women, it's about men too, anybody. You know, like we're all susceptible at this point because of everything that we deal with in this country and in our lives. And some of us more than others because some of us are really diligent about what we're putting in and on our bodies. But unfortunately, there's so much that we don't have control over. So just a couple more stats that really aren't here. Besides skin cancer, breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among, again, American women. Pretty sad. As of January 2018, there are more than 3.1 million women with a history of breast cancer in the United States. So we've got some problems here. I just wanted to note this. This is from 2018. They said it's estimated that 182,460 new cases of invasive cancer are expected to be diagnosed among women during 2008. Right now, it's 266,000. That's a lot. I think it's a big rise. Although it has been 10 years, and some studies are showing that it is decreasing, I don't see it. I don't see that it's decreasing. So, who's at risk? Everybody. Like we said, women and men, especially female though. We are definitely a higher risk. Anybody with a family or a personal history of breast cancer, previous or ongoing use of synthetic hormone replacement therapy, thyroid disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, iodine deficiency, prolonged use of oral contraceptives, more like 5 years plus, non-organic dairy and meat consumption, and how many people do that? It boggles my mind how many people will eat meat, conventional, you know, that have pesticides and hormones and antibiotics and everything else in that meat. You're eating it, it's going into your fat cells. So be careful, and I'll get more into that in a little bit. And even when we're talking about vegetables and fruits, if they're not organic, then you're eating food that has been sprayed and also is probably genetically modified. So now we're using pesticides, insecticides, and on and on. Okay, so really, is it worth it to you and your body and your family to actually spend a little bit of extra money that it would cost to eat organic? It is for me. And although I don't have children and I don't have a big family to feed, I wouldn't give my children, you know, the other. There's no way. And you know, it's, again, it's not about the money, it's about the future. Here's some other ones. This goes on, unfortunately. Other risk factors are obesity and sedentary lifestyle, inadequate vitamin D levels, never having children or having your first after the age of 30, radiation exposure, overconsumption of alcohol and or caffeine, xenoestrogen exposure. What that means is they're endocrine disruptors. It can be anything from plastics to makeup to chemicals, dry cleaning chemicals. There's so many, and I'm gonna go over a list of other things with you in a minute that will just give you a better idea what xenoestrogens are, or what they are physically. But what they do is they disrupt your own hormonal balance, and that's very dangerous, and that's where we get into trouble. And having high density breast density on a mammogram is another one. Soy products, very bad idea. And what's the last one I have, and very important one, is getting older. Wah. Not happy about that. So more reason for us to be more diligent about what we're putting on our bodies. So the big problem with breast cancer is too much estrogen. Where someone has more estrogen than progesterone in our system. And it could be from outside factors, and that's a big thing, but it also happens very, very frequently from when women are going into menopause, because we're losing estrogen, but we lose more progesterone than we do estrogen. And so often your progesterone levels will literally tank. And so even though we don't have as much estrogen as we had prior, when we were hormonally, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluid, or we had plenty of hormones, now you have such an imbalance that you're estrogen dominant, even if you don't have a lot of estrogen. And that's actually very dangerous. And it's dangerous because it affects our breast tissue and our uterus more than anything. And I'm sorry, men too, you know, breasts and gonads. So some of the things that we can do to, well, you know what, let's stay here. Some of the sources of outside estrogen, where we might have too much estrogen, is from hormone replacement therapy, oral contraceptives, increased body fat, because estrogens are stored in fat, and so are the xenoestrogens that we are going to get more into, I promise. Plastics, pesticides, non-organic dairy, like we said, body products, huge thing. There's so many hormone disruptors in makeup, hair products, moisturizers, and there's a really great website that anybody can go on to. It's the Environmental Working Group, and you can go to
we can put a link to it.
I'll put a link. We will put a link on it. Yeah, thanks. It's ewg.org/Skin Deep. And Skin Deep is this amazing part of the Environmental Working Group that they actually research the body products that people use, including sunscreens and makeup and hair products, moisturizers, you name it, it's on there. And if they haven't researched it, it's not going to be on there, but so much of it is researched. And it's worth, you know, noting. Take your body products out of the cabinet and just start looking, and go into that site and spend an hour or so. And they'll give you the toxicity levels of your products. And it's scary. Yeah. It's really scary. When I first learned about it, and this is quite a while ago, I went into my cabinet and I pulled out the things that I was using, and I thought I was using pretty good products. Lancome was one of them. Clarins, you know, who say that they are all
natural.
Well, they say that they use flowers, right, or herbs, or you know what? I shouldn't be saying this. I'll probably get in trouble, but it's not. There's a high toxicity level of these products that you're spending so much money for, and it's crazy. It's actually criminal, I think, because most women they don't know it, number one, and number two, if you're spending a lot of money, you think you're getting a really good product, right? So it's like, oh yeah, let me put that on, but don't put it on. Don't put it on, because it is going to change your chemistry. You might smell good, but you ain't good. So I love that site. And, you know, Environmental Working Group has done so much work. That's where they started the Dirty Dozen when it comes to fruits and vegetables. You can even go on and find the best or the worst fish to eat, and, you know where to look for it, or where it's coming from, and definitely what to stay away from. They do a great job. But just beware when you go on their website and you start looking around. They are going to ask you for donations, and you know what? I definitely donate to them because I think they're doing so great a job at keeping us informed. But I'm not talking thousands of dollars or anything like that. But I think a little bit here and there is great. They're definitely worth it. And no, I do not work for them. Okay. Some other things, did I say vitamin D? Low vitamin D levels, definitely a cautionary sign that definitely you want to find out what your D levels are, and then work at making sure that you raise it, whether it's supplementation or getting out in the sun is even better. But there are some people who, regardless of being out in the sun, their D levels just don't come up. So you got it. Then you want to start looking at liver. Because if someone has a congested liver, which so many people do, then they're not going to be able to produce the D, because that's all part of it. And it could be other things too, but that's definitely something to look into. So here's what happens. We have estrogens in our body, and our body wants to clear excess estrogen. So it goes to the liver. But if the liver can't do it, it's not removed. And then what happens is your estrogen is stored in your fat cells. And typically if women have more fat in different areas, you can bet they're going to have more estrogen. Although I've met a lot of really thin women too who are estrogen dominant. But you can pretty much be guaranteed if you have extra weight, there's estrogen sitting there. And, just creating all kinds of trouble for you. So it is, and I kid, but it's really not a joking matter. It's pretty serious. So detection versus prevention. We can detect whether we have issues, right, through mammography and thermography. And ultrasound too does some, you can detect whether some changes or not. But here's the thing. Mammograms are invasive, and I know they've changed a lot, and they're definitely not as bad as they were, but it's still, I'm not going to radiate my breasts every year. There's no way. So I pay a little bit of money on my own, and it's not much, to get a thermography, because a thermography is non-invasive, and it detects changes in temperature or changes in tissue way earlier than the mammogram does. So in my mind, or my opinion, is that thermography is really the better way to go, but it's your choice. Everybody, is going to choose what they want to do, and you have to go with what's here and what's comfortable for you. And if anybody wants more information on thermography, I'm happy to supply you with it. I'm not an expert. But I do know some sources where you can get more information, and even where you can get it done. And you're only really talking a couple $100. Definitely worth it. Because you might be paying that in your copay anyway, really, or your co-insurance. So something to think about. Here, all right, let's just get into xenoestrogens for a minute, because I think this is really, really important. So much of what happens hormonally and all the imbalances is because of xenoestrogens. They come from makeup, from plastic, from inorganic foods. Again, pay a little bit more money. It's definitely worth it. Where's my list? Skincare products, industrial products like bisphenol A, the BPA that you see, where a lot of companies are saying no BPA. Definitely worth it. Phthalates, which is their plasticizers. Polybrominated biphenyl esters. Really? Like PBDEs. They're flame retardants. Used in plastics, foams, building materials, electronics, furnishings, and vehicles, motor vehicles.
I think they're also in our beds, right?
Probably flame retardants, yeah.
We're sleeping with it.
And children, big problem, because children are exposed right away, because everybody wants to make sure their children are safe, right? But really, are they? You know, I mean, look, we all grew up without these things. Well, we didn't all, but I did. You might not have.
No.
But I definitely, you know what, it wasn't a concern, you know, and so most things were cotton, you know, it's nothing wrong with cotton, is there? Not that I know of, anyway. Probably, but...
Comment below if there is.
So much, there's really a problem with almost everything, but we have to pick and choose. Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs. Food, red dye, number 3, BHA, which is butylated hydroxyanazole, whatever. It's a food preservative. So stay as close to nature as you can, because nature, well, not all of it today, but nature doesn't grow this unless it's genetically modified, right? So try to stay as clean as possible. It doesn't mean you can't have any fun or can't eat something that you love, but if you do it in moderation or you know, not much at all, you're way better off, because so much of our food is a big problem too, not just our skincare. Building supplies, again, PCBs, in electrical oils, lubricants, adhesives, paints. And then we got the insecticides, weed killers, DDT, which are banned now, right? I think DDT is banned, but and then we've got other breakdowns from DDT. We've got more, I'm not even going to read these things because it doesn't matter, more insecticides with different names, more insecticides, industrial surfactants, emulsifiers, laboratory detergents, pesticides, chlorine and chlorine byproducts. What else? Combined oral contraceptive pills. Surfactant used in cleaning detergents. So listen, just look around your house. Look around, look at the products that you're using to clean with. They're horrible. There are so many things now that we can use. We've got the, come on, I use it all the time.
Oh, those rags.
The rags.
Microfiber?
Microfiber.
Yes.
Yeah, what a great invention.
Yes.
Really great, because it picks up bacteria. You can use it over and over. You can wash it. You just have to be careful how you wash it and what you're putting with it. You've got that, essential oils, right? That we had 2 lovely women doing a essential oil 101 class last week, and essential oils are great for cleaning too. And there's really nice scents that you can get from it. It works really well. So does apple cider vinegar, regular vinegar. I mean, the world really has so much. We don't need we don't need the chemicals. It's just another way for these companies to make money and, you know, make us all sick at the same time. Yeah. I wonder if the pharmaceutical companies are involved in that. Good question. Also, now we've got chemical-free soaps, right? Toothpaste. Read the labels on condoms and diaphragm gels. They're toxic too. And they will, do you think they're going to change your hormonal chemistry? Big time. Big time. Parabens, nail polish, hairsprays. I don't need to go on. I think you get the picture. Oh, one more thing. Outgassing from carpets and fake wood. There's some fake wood behind me over here, or behind you, over there. That is a big problem. Almost all carpeting, outgassing.
What does that mean?
It means that the chemicals come up out of the product forever.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, most things forever. And what's really noxious is the plastic shower curtains. Oh, do not use them. Get the cloth. They're really only a couple more dollars. Get the cloth shower curtains. Yeah, you can smell it, right? You ever take that out? You take a plastic shower curtain out of that little bag. It's disgusting. And not only is it toxic, I mean, it just smells really bad. I don't want to take a shower in that. I really don't. And, for the longest time I did. But thankfully it's been a long time since I did. So, all right, what else? No, we did that. Let's get back. Sorry, I'm a little rusty. All right. So, again, the way that you can actually control your risk, or lower your risk, is through lifestyle, through diet, and exercise. Exercise is important in everything, right? Because if we're sedentary, we are going to get sick, and our bodies get weak, and we can't fight off things that either happen to us or come around us. So exercise is key. Moderate exercise. You don't have to do marathons and weightlifting. Well, you can do weightlifting, but you don't have to go out for the muscle woman man thing. Over-the-counter and prescription meds are a big problem too, and they can have a negative impact on how your body processes estrogen. So the inability to properly metabolize estrogen can greatly increase your odds of developing breast cancer later in life. Right? Less medication, being more proactive in all of this will definitely save you years on your life, or give you more life, and have a better quality of life later, right? I mean, when most people take medication, and I know sometimes we need to, but the majority of the time, it's just about, you know what, I just want a pill. And listen, I have people telling me that a lot, because I'm talking to them about whole food supplementation, and some people don't want to hear it. So if you're somebody who just wants to take a pill, then good luck, because at some point in your life, it's going to come back at you because you haven't handled the problem. It's more about finding the cause and fixing the cause, right? It's about researching and looking back and saying, okay, well, not maybe, but I did this, and maybe that led to this, or I'm doing this, and maybe that's hurting me. So how about I stop doing that, or at least lessen it, and then do some better things, about what you're eating or putting on you. Again, it's all really pretty simple. It's just knowing the basics, and then admitting to yourself what you're doing is not maybe that great, and then changing it. And it's not, you don't have to do it all at once. It's not easy, because we're human, and we like pleasure. I know I do. So, do I want ice cream once in a while? Yes. Do I eat ice cream once in a while? Yes, absolutely. So, but I don't eat it all the time. And, now that, as we get older too, now weight is a concern. That's annoying. That's really annoying. And then the weight comes on, and there's the estrogen, and it's like, But here's another problem. A lot of our metabolizing and processing comes from not enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach. And that happens too more as we get older. So if we don't have enough hydrochloric acid in our stomach, we are not able to break down the foods that we're eating, and we're not able to then absorb the food. And not just absorb, but adsorb, because adsorbing actually with an AD means that your body's actually taking the toxins and pulling them out of your system. Absorbing is actually using the minerals and vitamins our bodies need, but we need to adsorb too. So hydrochloric acid is a big thing that we want to make sure that you have enough of. And if you're taking the purple pill or antacids, big problem. Those medications were never ever designed, well they are now, but they weren't initially designed to be taken for long periods of time. And because they knew it was dangerous, and it is extremely dangerous, because you're now taking the one gland that is supposed to be the most acidic in your body, and you're making it alkaline. So not absorbing or not breaking down your food is one problem. You know what's even worse? Now the bacteria get through. Now things are actually saying, I can live in this environment because it's alkaline. I can't live in the acidic environment. That is very protective. So now if you change that, now you've got other problems, big problems. Ulcers, largely from that.
So you can get ulcers from taking acids?
Eventually, yes, you can. We can get a lot of things from that.
Okay.
Because it totally changes your chemistry. Yeah, big problem. Let me see something. I missed something here. Right, okay, sorry. So decreased hydrochloric acid naturally or from an acid use can affect the cancer protective phytochemicals from brassicas, which are Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, all those things that are protective. They'll alter the breakdown and the absorption of it and increase your chance or your risk by 300%. That's a lot. That's huge. So it's critical to support the liver's ability to detoxify the excess estrogens from your body. So now what you want to look at is if you are estrogen dominant, and men too, definitely, there's men that have too much estrogen in their body, and they're in the same amount of danger, truly. 21-day purification program is unbelievable. You know, in what the results are that you get from this, it's amazing. And I know you're saying 21 days? Are you insane? Because I said that too before I did it the first time. And I will absolutely admit that my very first time that I did that purification process, it was hard. I was not a happy camper. However, after my 8th day, and I started to see the changes in my body and in my mind, I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. And by the end of that 21 days, I was lean and mean, and I felt so good. And it actually, at one point in time, I think it was in my late 40s, I started to get arthritic changes, and I was told I had RA, rheumatoid arthritis. And I already made some changes and made a lot of progress with it without taking medication. But once I did that was it. It was like, it doesn't mean I don't have it, so I do have to be careful. And I know when I'm being bad that it starts to come back. But it stopped the changes that I had in my hands and my feet too. So do I know this is powerful? Yeah, and not just from me, from all the people that I've seen and experience going through this process, including chiropractors and patients, and you know, it's a wonderful thing.
So could they learn about that by coming to see you and
Absolutely.
doing that process?
Yes.
By seeing you, gotcha.
In fact, so before, I'll say it now because you brought that up. What I'm going to offer anybody that's listening is an opportunity to come in for a consult, no charge. Just to have a consult for anything that you're concerned about. You're not obligated to continue, but I can certainly go through anything that you're concerned about. And you know, if you want to change something and you need some support, then I'm happy to do that with you. So all you have to do is give us a call. All our information is on Facebook too. So, don't feel like you shouldn't reach out because you're not sure you want to do it. Just go ahead and take that step, because that's the first step, is to say, hey, what can I do? And there's always things that we can do. Okay, let's see. Other factors: birth control, antacids, antidepressants, family history, radiation exposure, obesity. I think we went through some of this. Smoking, iodine. Iodine is a big one, because we do an iodine patch test here, where we put a little square of iodine. I'm making a circle, a little square of iodine. Doesn't matter if it's a circle or square. And we want to see how long it lasts on the body. And I would say that 80% of the people who test for it, and that's not like a scientific test, but it's incredibly valuable, they're deficient. And sometimes that goes away in like 2 hours, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes 10, 24 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have an iodine deficiency, now you've got a problem with thyroid, breast, uterus, all your cells. All cells in your body need iodine. And you really can't get enough of it without supplementation these days. You really can't. Omega-3s are big necessity, especially the DHA. Cruciferous and sulfur vegetables. So again, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, onions, garlic, good stuff. So it's okay if you smell. It's all right. I smell all the time. Yeah, okay, so in the late 70s, researchers studied and found a strong correlation between women who regularly consumed cruciferous vegetables, same thing, and the reduced risk of developing breast cancer. So definitely worth taking. But can you take enough? Can you eat enough of it? I don't know. So we have something called Cruciferous Complete. Standard Process makes it. It's a whole food supplementation, and it is actually very condensed broccoli and Brussels sprouts mostly. So and kale, sorry. And what a great supplement it is. And if you were going to take one thing to help you prevent, I think that's key. And there are other things for sure, like iodine again, and what's the other one I was talking about? Those are key. There's another one called Mammary PMG that if somebody already is having a problem, key to use, but that's okay. I'm not really here to sell you anything. I just want to tell you that there are things available, supplementation-wise. Brassicas, again, influence the way your body processes the estrogen. So your body metabolizes estrogen in like really different ways. So we absolutely want to find out what the liver is doing, because that's key.
So would you say that the detoxification would help cleanse out the liver the most?
Yep.
Gotcha.
You can even do. There is a test. It's called Estronex. I haven't used it in a while. It's a little expensive, but it really is a valuable test, and it shows you the different estrogens that you have, and it's a urine test, and it can tell you whether you are a candidate actually for breast cancer if you need to like take action now. So I can get more information for anybody that is concerned or wants more information on that. I shouldn't even quote a price, but I'm thinking $350 is some in my mind. But it's a very reputable company that provides the kit, and I think that doing it is worth it. I did that at one time too. Probably should do it again. So I'm just going to talk about thermography just 2 minutes. It's a painless, it's a non-invasive radiation-free screening that detects physiological changes in the body when there is disease or pathology. Thermal imaging can show changes years before they show up on traditional x-ray, like mammography. They can be used as a preventative tool that breast disease can be detected and treated at its earliest stage. A 2008 Cornell study showed that thermal imaging was 97% sensitive and was published by the American Academy of Breast Surgeons in the American Journal of Surgery. That was in 2008. So, you know, why don't insurance companies pay for it now? Because they don't. I'm not saying. But I think you know. So the benefits are no radiation, there's no compression, there's early detection, and there's breast cancer risk prevention. I think, honestly, that about sums it up. I think I've given you... Yeah, we're not going to go there. I think I've given you a lot of information that you can really sit with and look at. I also have a little questionnaire. And is it recording? Cool. Okay. I have a questionnaire. What we're going to do, Ashley and I, she's the technical one, I'm not. But so she's going to help me put up, we have a handout that we're going to put up on our website, Chiropractic Health and Nutrition Center. But we'll post that on the video probably in a day or two. So look for it. We're going to have a link, right? A link?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That will show you where to get the forms. So it's going to be a handout, and there's also a questionnaire that you can just use for yourself. And it will give you an idea like where your risk is, how high your risk is. Just from a little survey that you know the answers to. Also, I might make a handout too on some of these xenoestrogens that are pretty important to know, like where to look. Good?
Great.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you're listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.